Hello, this is Dr. Oz. This is an introduction presentation for business analytics. So let's talk about business analytics. So there are three developments in recent history that lead to business analytics to be more attractive to many people and widely discussed in media and so on. The first one is the technological advances, right? So with new technologies, we have scanner technology, we have data collection through e-commerce, social networks, and so on, allow us to reach out to wide variety of data and so much data so that we can make better decisions. In the past, data collection was much more limited, of course. And also, we have most recent methodological developments. So new people, researchers come up with different algorithms, faster and more effective approaches. And we have some visualization tools like Tableau to make things even easy. Even Excel is getting better and better every year. And also, we observe explosion in computational power and data storage capability. So with technology now, Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, we can put terabytes of data, and even it's free for at this in this year. It's free for students, so you can store data and you can access data, and the computers are much more faster than before. So when I say business analytics, I would say the most important thing is decision making. Of course, we will learn a bunch of tools to analyze data, but at the end of the day, what we are really trying to do is making better business decisions. Decision is number one thing in business analytics. There are different types of decisions. I can categorize them into three categories. Strategic decisions are for higher level overall goals. So these are type of decisions that are made by the business owners, CEOs, CFOs. So these are in general not that often, but big decisions. Let's say, shall I go into European market? Shall I buy a multi-billion-dollar facility, or should I open a new store? Things like that. So these are more high-level overall goals. However, mid-level managers are needed to be able to achieve these goals. So someone must work on these goals, strategic goals, and make them happen. So someone needs to deal with how to achieve this. Should I buy a competitor to get into a market? Should I sell certain buildings to make more money so that we can reach our goals? So we need some tactical decisions. And of course, you need to have some operational managers run the show, deal with day-to-day operations, day-to-day operations. Someone has to deal with that. So let's say if you are running a McDonald's store, you want to make sure that someone is dealing with scheduling and who's preparing what, when, and so on. So those are day-to-day operations that needs to be dealt with. In decision-making process, there are 5 different things that we need to consider. First, we need to define the problem. Without defining the problem, we cannot really make a decision. So the problem is something that is not really liked by many people, but as business analytics people, we love problems because that's the reason that people hire us, pay us, and we make a difference and we differentiate ourselves with our competitors. So to be able to deal with this problem before even making any judgments or developing alternatives, we should really make sure that we have a set of criteria so that we are objective. We don't want to just be biased or follow a charismatic leader. We need to have criteria. And Then we need to define the set of alternatives, decision alternatives. So if there is no alternative, there is no decision to make really, other than do that or don't do it. But let's say if I would like to achieve financial goals that I have, I need to define my alternatives in terms of, let's say, investments. Should I buy stocks? Should I buy bonds? Should I buy real estate? Should I get my second job? And so on, right? So those alternatives are crucial. And also we need to evaluate those alternatives based on the criteria that we developed. And then finally, we choose the best alternative based on our decision components. So let's define business analytics. So again, business analytics is a scientific process. We transform data in business analytics into making better decisions. Again, I'm not saying best necessarily here, because sometimes trying to get the best decision can be costly in terms of time and money. Sometimes just getting better solution is good enough, and we can always improve our processes and decisions, and our company will do better. That's why these are used for data-driven or fact-based decision making. Data-driven or fact-based. All right. So these are the tools that decision-making managers, they create insight from data, and we can accurately forecast for future planning, and we can quantify risk. Risk is another important concept in business analytics, and we try to find the better decisions, yielding better decisions. And there are three components of business analytics. First one is descriptive analytics. Second one is predictive analytics. And finally, we have prescriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics deal with the historical data. So this is related to past. And predictive analytics, based on historical trends and relationship, comes up with future projections. So this is more future related. And based on those projections, we can make decision that will choose the best solution. Okay. So those are the three components of business analytics. So let's talk about descriptive analytics. So in descriptive analytics, we have data queries. Basically, we request certain type of information from a database. Database is collection of data. Let's say company holds all this data, but I really want to have this data. So you just send the code and retrieve that part of the database, that data. And then we create reports to better understand historical data. We use statistics to calculate mean, average, variance, and histograms, and so on to better understand. And we visualize those again. And data mining can be used if we are talking about big data, and use some other software packages to deal with big data. And I will define what's big data. And basic what-if spreadsheet models are handy in descriptive analytics. So let's talk about dashboards, data dashboards. So these are the collections of tables, charts, maps, and summary statistics. Basically, we try to see as a manager what's going on in our company. So these are more related to KPIs, key performance indicators. So let's say employee utilization, revenue generation. Maybe we can run these reports or look at these dashboards weekly. So automatically they give us the performance of our company. So like similar to car dashboard, will show you the speed of the car, the fuel level, and so on. But if you don't check or see that dashboard, car dashboard, basically we will fail. We will run out of gas, or we will fail to have oil change, and our engine may be broken in the future. So it's important concept to have dashboards for managers and business owners. Data mining is also similar to descriptive analytics. We are using tools, but in this case, We are talking about large data sets. We deal with large data sets here. All right, so let's talk about the second component, which is predictive analytics. This is the idea here is the predicting the future. We have so many different models here, such as simulation, we have time series analysis, we have regression, and so on, to basically better predict the future. An example, market share. So in predictive analytics, again, we talk about these tools. In this class, I'm not going to talk so much about data mining. However, in our advanced class, you can cover that topic in depth with R and Python and so on. So let's go to prescriptive analytics, which is the third and last component, tries to find the best solution. And that's why these are called rule-based models. Why rule-based? Because in the prescriptive analytics, we have set of constraints, rules, regulations to satisfy. Simulation optimization is, I would say, more advanced tool because it combines multiple disciplines or areas such as probability, statistics, to model the uncertainty. So if you want to model uncertainty, this is a great tool. All right, so our idea in decision analysis is used to develop an optimal strategy or best strategy. And this strategy can be based on different factors, different decision makers, so it can get very complicated. And it employs utility theory instead of just pure dollar figures, because every decision maker has different risk behavior, risk seeker or risk aversion. Okay, so let's go to next slide, which is to do with big data. And I would like to briefly discuss when I say big data, what I mean by that. So volume is one reason for us to call a data set to be big data, because we may have terabytes or gigabytes of data and millions or millions, maybe billions of rows of data and columns as well, hundreds of thousands of columns. So if that's the case, you cannot really steal those data sets with Excel. You may want to use some different software packages to deal with it. Another component of big data is velocity. Velocity is about speed. So you need to real-time capture the data, like social media inputs such as tweets or shares on Facebook and so on. So the speed is very quick. Like, for example, a tweet of a president could cause stock market to go up or down in a couple seconds, maybe less than a second. So we need to be able to act on that if we are talking about big data analysis, which requires computation power and nice algorithms and machine learning tools. Variety is another component. This means that we collect different types of data, such as PDF files, we have tweets again, we have images to process, we have videos to process. So those are important and different types of data sources that we need to deal with. Veracity is the last one, which is to do with inaccurate information, data, and missing data, and how to deal with those manipulations and problems in data. We will most likely never ever have a good, perfect data set. So we need to deal with those issues. So big data, again, too large or too complex to be handled by standard processing techniques. There are different tools like Hadoop and MapReduce to deal with those kind of data sets, all right? So let's take a look at business analytics in practice. So we have different areas that we can use business analytics, like finance, like human resources, marketing, healthcare, supply chain, government and nonprofit, sports, and web analytics. So these are just to name a few, all right? So let's take a look at the complexity versus the competitive advantage. So the complexity increases this way and competitive advantage increases this way. So this area right here, the most complex and gives us the most competitive advantage, whereas this area right here is least complex and least competitive, provides least competitive advantage. So in this course also I would like to start with descriptive analytics and standard reporting and data query visualization. So those are things that you look at historical data. I'm not saying they are super easy, but they are less sophisticated and not less complex than high level optimization and decision making and simulation optimization problems. So that's why this course also grouped into 3 areas as well. So we will start from descriptive and then go towards prescriptive in this course. Sometimes predictive and prescriptive analytics are called as advanced analytics. Advanced analytics, right? So let's take a look at some applications in finance. So in finance, we use business analytics to forecast the financial performance of a firm, stock price, investment portfolio performance, buy-sell decisions, considering derivatives, and managing our portfolio in terms of risk and return, allocating our assets to maximize our return and minimize our risk, making budget plans. So simulation is also often used. In this course, we will talk about simulation as well. All right, so in HR, we also see here several business analytics applications, such as finding the right skill set, hiring right people, good talent, and retaining those people, and achieving our organizational goals. So if you collect data about performance of the people that we hire and other companies hire, basically we can understand, we can cluster them into groups, and it will help us to have better practices in terms of hiring, firing, and promotions, and so on. Marketing is a really strong, fastest growing field with social media marketing, and understand consumer behavior is critical for companies to survive and decide on inventory levels and develop new products and so on. So again, we can use for advertising budget, how much should I spend, what kind of commercial at what time, after what other commercials, should I go with Super Bowl, should I go with newspapers, if so, what page? These are all analytics decisions. And pricing strategies are different also, like should I give promotions, if so, when, by how much, should I bundle things together, should I increase the price, decrease the price, and how to measure customer satisfaction and loyalty, how to translate that into dollars. So these are all nice analytics applications in marketing. All right, so let's look at healthcare as another hot area. So in healthcare setting, we can look at scheduling. So how can I schedule the doctors and rooms so that I can maximize the overall outcome? It can be maximize profit, or it can be minimize the pain for my patients, or maximize the satisfaction level for my patients. That's a patient flow is, for example, so important. How it's called facility layout problems. How should I locate my rooms, and how close should they be, and things like that. And purchasing decisions, inventory decisions, so quality of the drugs, and how often should I replenish my stocks so that the drugs won't go bad, or I will satisfy the customer or patient needs. So those are important decisions in healthcare. And supply chain management is another area, and here we see warehouse planning, transportation problems, vehicle routing problems. So what should be the order for the vehicle and customers, and what time windows, and what mode of transportation should be used, and so on. So it's a very important area as well. So another one is government. So basically, IRS, for example, can figure out outliers based on people's demographics and income and location and so on. And based on those outliers, instead of searching for tax problems throughout the population, they can just focus on this focus group based on some parameters, indicators that are helpful. So nonprofit and agencies also use analytics to better allocate their resources when there's a disaster or to raise more money so that you don't have to go and visit every single person, but maybe you will just go to certain type of people to maximize your donations. Sport analytics, another area. Baseball is a great field here. Choosing the player and when to put the player in the game and when to not, and what kind of shots to have and things like that. The analytics is very big, getting big in sports analytics as well. Web analytics is another area, looking online activity, what people click on, and when, how often, and whether they buy it or not, and where they look at in the website. So these are all nice applications of business analytics. That's it for today. Enjoy business analytics.